been riding Yamahas for a long time now, and I'll tell you what, I've been waiting for 2015. This R1 is brand new, and there's not one single part the same as the old model. Yamaha have been really busy testing this bike in the background with guys like Valentino Rossi, guys like Lorenzo, and also the Japanese test riders. And why do I like this machine? Well, it's full of gizmos. I mean, have a look at the dash for an example. That's the first time I've seen a dash like that on a motorcycle. But it doesn't just tell you the speed and the revs, it tells you about your traction control settings. It tells you about your wheelie, anti-wheelie settings, slide control. There's so many different things that you can play around with and adjust. They say that the electronic control unit on this bike is very similar to the one that Lorenzo used in MotoGP back in 2012. It's more than that though. There's a new engine. This engine puts out a lot more power than the older engine, and it's very linear in the way that it delivers the power. On top of that, we've got a brand new chassis that is derived from the M1. And then you've got things like this swing arm that is also pretty much straight off the MotoGP bike. As a road bike though, the thing that I like about it is when I look at it, it's aesthetically pleasing, but things like the exhaust pipe that on a normal road bike are big and fat and bulky, it looks all right in the R1. You don't even have to go out and buy, you know, an aftermarket exhaust pipe. Suspension, once again, the Yamaha technicians have been working hard in the background to get the KYB suspension for this bike working really well. The clutch on the new Yamaha is also an anti-slipping clutch like most of the other superbikes have got. The thing that makes this different though is the fact that it's a lot smaller. Yamaha have used a new technology that have made this clutch so small it saves weight, therefore gains power. When I look at this thing, it looks fantastic. It's really appealing to me. On paper, it also looks good. The specs are good, it's got enough power, its handle's good. But you know what? Until you get out there on track, you don't know what it's really like. So I'm gonna go get my leathers on and get out there. Well, here we are heading out on pit lane at Morgan Park Raceway, and as you can see, what beautiful weather. And I tell you, this R1 already, just as I head out pit lane, it feels like a race bike. I mean, I can't tell that there's mirrors or indicators on this thing. It actually feels just like I'm on a race bike. It's a little bit bumpy around this circuit. Just got to warm these tyres up a little bit. Around the left-hander, turn 3, here we go. And as you can hear, that engine noise. I love the engine noise. A little bit squirrely under brakes, I've got to say. But already, I've adapted to this thing like there's no tomorrow. I really love the sound of this motor. It makes me feel like I'm watching MotoGP. I might as well be Valentino Rossi, although I'm a little bit slower at the moment. But anyway, that's another story. This track is really, really bumpy, but the R1 is doing a really good job at soaking these bumps up. And I tell you what, the engine on this thing, so much torque as I exit these corners. I can let it lug through the gears, or I can really open it up through the taps, and you can just see it. I mean, I can just really feel the way that it soaks up the bumps through these fast sweepers here. Then hard on the brakes into Motul corner I go. Just up the hill here, this Morgan Park, it might be short, but I tell you what, it really will create some great racing for these guys at this circuit. And my lap's over here of Morgan Park, but I'll tell you what, let's just finish off with one little wheelie over the start-finish line. That was awesome.